So Ayden, before we get to the transfer, just get
Yes,
to your high school and the fact that you weren't a bigger recruit at that point in time. The chip on your shoulder at that juncture. How, explain the journey to Duquesne.
Yeah, it always been a chip on my shoulder just because, like, I knew I was under recruited in high school. I knew that was a big thing, and I know I was going to a lower school. Like I knew, like I was getting recruited by a lot of group of fives, but then we got COVID. COVID hit around that March in my junior year, so all my junior day visits, all of that was canceled. So after that, I was just all right. I just got to work, and then my senior year, we only got to play 4 games. My senior year, we only got to play 4 games. So I had a good tape, but it wasn't enough for like a group of 5 or a P5 school. So Duquesne had hit me up late because I was going to end up trying to reclass maybe, but Duquesne hit me up late, and I was just all right. I'm gonna just go here and just work until I get here. So I mean, I got to a place where I feel like I was gonna be able to move up.
So you're very successful at Duquesne. Now go through the transfer process. When did it hit you? You know what? I'd like to try to move up, and then ultimately, why did you come to West Virginia?
And it hit me like the middle of the season a little bit, just because I'm like, I feel like we was gonna win a championship, and I feel like me winning a championship there was one of the biggest things I was going to end up doing, because we weren't gonna get at Duquesne, it wasn't we didn't get a lot of like scouts. We got a lot, but it wasn't really a lot. So I knew I was able to play on that level because I played against teams on that level. Like I played against the Florida States. I played against Hawaii. I came and played West Virginia. So I feel like I was able to play at this level. So I wanted to give myself a chance.
Did you feel like that game against West Virginia last year was validation to what you always believed? Like, was that one of those?
Yeah, that was a stepping stone. I knew it wasn't the best game for us, Duquesne, but personally, I feel like I did what I had to do that game to like solidify myself as one of the players, and in the league I was in and the country.
Was that your first experience at WVU and soaking in what the experience?
Yeah,
of
that was
being
my
a
first.
Mountaineer
That was my first time. The big part that hit me is when I think your first touchdown was when that musket went off. It low-key scared me a little. It low-key scared me a little bit. So when that musket went off, I was like, all right, we in West Virginia, we in Morgantown. So I felt comfortable. And then at the end of the game, I just soaked it all in. Because this is a beautiful place. So I soaked it all in. I felt great about it.
So why'd you come to West Virginia? What brought you here? Who else were you interested in?
So I was interested in Cincinnati. So I got in the portal around the 4th. And I think a couple days after that, I went to Cincinnati, had a good visit there, and I came here a day after. And it just felt like home. Like when I first got here, it felt like home. I watched practice. They brought me in like I was part of the family. Like as soon as I got here, Coach Shadon and Coach Jacob. So it felt like this was the place to be. And like I had Liberty and Indiana a couple days later, and I canceled both of those visits because I knew where I wanted to go. It was here.
Was that in your mind, playing here the year before, what you saw, the crowd, everything like that?
Yeah, like it was in my mind, like after the season, it was in my mind, like, all right, because as soon as I got in the portal, they hopped on me hard. Like they hopped on me hard when I got in the portal. So when I seen that, I'm like, that's in the back of my mind. That's might where I want to go unless I get somebody else pops up in the picture, but nobody else popped up in the picture like West V did.
So having that experience, coming here, playing West Virginia, that was a factor?
Yeah, that was a factor. Like I played here and seen how the crowd was. Even after the rain delay, it was still about 30,000, 40,000 here. So just having that feeling, it was a no-brainer for me.
What's it take to be a good cover corner, and what qualities do you think you offer that?
For me, I'm good. Like when I first got here, I think Coach Shadon had went over it with you guys before. I had at the level I was at, I was able to look in the backfield a lot. And still be able to break on balls. At this level, you can't do that. The quarterbacks are way better. Gigi, on the first couple practices, I was giving out routes just because I'm having my eyes in the backfield. But after that, I just locked in on the technique that I've been taught, and I ran away with the technique I've been taught. Still, the technique that I have, I still have the technique where I can have my eyes, but I can know where I can have my eyes at in certain situations.
Last year when you were preparing for West Virginia, I don't even know if Hudson Clement's on your scouting report. Okay, probably not, right?
That's actually funny. So we came into the game and we were focused on Devin Neal because we know well secondary wise we were focused on Devin Neal because we were like he had a lot of the big catches in Penn State, so our eyes was on him. But when we seen he didn't come out there in pre warm up, I think he was out there in pre warm ups, but then he took his pads off, so we were like who we gonna see? So like when Hudson came up, it was just like oh okay, we just gotta figure this guy out, but. By the time we tried to figure it out, he already had 2 touchdowns. But he's a great player. I go against me and Hudson. We've been going against each other because he'd been to the field with me a lot. So we go against each other every day, and it's a blessing to go against him every day.
A couple of times in the game.
Yeah, I did. It was like towards the fourth quarter. That's when I got on him a little bit. And then I was on him in the first quarter. But I was in the nickel a lot, so I wasn't able to be on the outside guys as much.
But no catches though, right?
Yeah, no catches.
Okay, gotta get that right. That's fine.
Coming into the locker room after you commit here, are you all rehashing the game last year? I mean, is there anybody you remembered that said, hey man, I was butting heads with you last year, but now we're teammates?
So like when I first got here, I'm like, man, I really don't want to talk to that guy. He did us like he had an amazing game on us. He had an amazing game on us, but like throughout the winter workouts and everything else, we started to bond a little bit, and then through camp now, we have a good relationship. It's all love and war.
What's the difference between here and where you were in terms of athletes, the game?
Athletes, I feel like on the outsides, slots, receivers, DBs, I feel like it's not really a huge difference. Like speed that's definitely a difference, but like physicality wise, maybe a little bit, but the real change was just the offensive line and defensive line for me, just because I was in the nickel a lot, so like when I played against them, I wasn't able to do certain things because I had Wyatt Milam trying to blitz and he picking me up every blitz. So like, but going down to where I was at, it was easy for me to come off the edge. Nobody ever knew it, but getting ID and stuff like that was definitely something I had to take accordingly.
Going a little bit off of John's question, you don't got to call anybody out or anything, but in terms of a percentage, how much of a percentage do you believe players that were at Duquesne or at that level, at that FCS level, can legitimately play in the Big 12 or
So we had 4 players, I'm not going to say any names, that was on my team at Duquesne, but we had about 4 players that I feel like if they get to this level, they can make a splash. Like I think we had one of them with the UMass. One of them with the UMass. That's group of 5, but that's still a level up. And I feel like he's gonna improve where he's at and do the things that he do. But we had about 4 players that I feel like can make it.
I even just meant because you made even a bigger jump.
I feel like it's a couple players down there that could definitely do their thing.
You originally, when you first got here, the coach said maybe safety, maybe corner.
Yeah.
Obviously, you seem locked in pretty much at corner now.
Yeah.
Did you have a preference? Why you fit better maybe at corner?
No, I didn't have a preference. It was like, I played a lot. I played really everywhere. At Duquesne. I was in the slot. I was at corner. I was at field. I was at boundary. I was at free. Been at strong a little bit. So just having the versatility, I think that's something that helped me because now I know where a lot of pieces are. Like now in our defense here, I know where the rotations are going. I know what certain guys are doing. I know what my help is. So it's definitely an upgrade for me to know that. I mean, if we need to in certain situations, like if God forbid guys get hurt, but I don't think that's I think I'll be at corner, a lot of corner this year.
Did you have a moment probably during spring practice where, maybe you didn't have the confidence that you could play at this level, but at that point it goes, okay, yeah, I can compete?
It was the first 2 days. The first 2 days I wasn't really I was getting action, but it was some routes that I was late on, things like that. But then that 4th day came, first day in pads, and I got 2 picks. That was my first day where I felt like, all right, I can make a step here. I could do some things. Here, and that's what skyrocketed me to having a great spring, having a great summer, and now finishing fall camp up.
We talked to Shadon earlier in camp, maybe 4 or 5 practices in. He said you hadn't given up a catch yet. Have you given up a catch yet?
No, it's still like I said, me and Huddy, we go back and forth. I think he probably had like a couple catches, but like anything like to the deep part of the field, I haven't really got that many targets. But it's great out there with them guys, especially P. Fox. He's another receiver that I go against. Him and Traylon Ray, a lot of receivers that I go against daily that just give me we go back and forth. It's a lot. It's good though.
That stuff happens like in a phone booth almost compared to when you're outside and you have everything over top of you. How much different is it? And I don't know, exciting, frightening, whatever. Playing deep on the outside, knowing that there's a whole lot of field to cover there.
In the inside, it's just you gotta know. Like you have to know where your help is at. Just knowing what leverage you need to be, what the team likes. Like it's just certain situations where you have to know, like certain things for that team. But in the slot, you just gotta. It's just football in there at the end of the day. Like it's just football. Like you either in zone or you in man or you blitzing. It's 3 things you could be doing in the slot, and I love playing the slot.
Outside, how different is that? Where
Outside, it's certain situations where you like, all right, you by yourself here, so you gotta lock in and just do and really work on your technique. Especially like that's why I take one-on-one serious here because I'm like, it's times in the game where I might be one-on-one, and that's where you gotta lock in at because you don't got no help.
Be getting my years mixed up, but were you on Duquesne when they beat Ohio?
Nah, I had broke my ankle, so that was my freshman year. So I broke my ankle my freshman year, and that was my redshirt year. I wasn't there, but it was exciting. I watched it. It was exciting.
That was a big moment.
Yeah, that was a big moment for our whole university. That was a big moment for us that year.
Monsignor Bonner, right?
Yes, sir.
So Anthony Beck.
Anthony
Is
Beck.
he a big name still there?
Huge
Have you
name.
ever run across
Huge
him?
name. Every summer he has his home football camp where he just help like lower kids just get their fundamentals going, and it's great that he does that. And I got to talk to him this summer when I was at home.
Did you ever go to his camp when you were younger?
Yeah, I went to his camp when I was younger, and I worked it when I played at Bonner. We worked it. Help all the little kids.
You talked to him at all since you became a Mountaineer?
A little bit. This summer I did just talk about like how was his experience here, things like that. But I probably see him. He said he might be at the first game. So if he's not at his son's game, then I'll probably see him.
Right now you're on one side and you got Hollis on the other, so 2 transfer guys at corner. What's Hollis' game? How's he helped you? And
He helped me just breaking down my technique because, like I said, I was a little jumpy and looking at things when I first got here, and he helped me just to settle down and get my eyes and my feet working because these guys are a lot faster here. Like I was able to just stay on top of guys and things like that at the level I was at. But now he just taught me how to just settle down and really just play loosely and just work on our technique. We work on our technique a lot, like before and after practice, get the little stuff in with our eye control, hand control, things like that.
How much size or weight, strength did you gain since
17
you got here?
pounds.
17 pounds?
17 pounds since January 6th is when I arrived. I
How
gained
much
17
were you then?
pounds. I was 163.
180?
Yeah. Yeah.
You guys lifted weights at Duquesne, but is it
Yeah.
just a different level?
Yeah,
of
like his
strength?
nutrition wise, it was a whole different, like a whole different scenery when I first got here. When I got here, my first week, I think I put on like 4 pounds. It was like a blessing. Like it's a whole different ball game over here. I knew it was different when I first arrived.
The immediate reaction to something like that from the outside would be, okay, does that affect your speed and quickness any? But it seems like from a recovery standpoint, from combating receivers physically, that's a lot more positives that you can rely on.
Yeah, that's a lot more positive. I just feel like, even in the run game, I feel more powerful than I was in the spring. Coming in the fall camp, I just feel like I can come down a little bit more harder than I was in the spring, and I'm still got the same speed, still running with guys. That wasn't like no thing for me. The speed's still the same.
give you 3 square meals at Duquesne? He didn't feed you enough?
Yeah, I don't know. It was just like most of it, like at that level, like you do a lot of things on your own. Like most of the stuff is on your own. Here you have a lot more help, a lot more people. There you don't have as much help. There's people there, but you just don't have as much help that you have at this level.
Okay, anything else for Ayden?
Good.
All right,